Hello and welcome to Connecticut at your service. My name is Terry Perkins and I'm your host today. I'm filling in for Carmen A. Nieves, the normal host of the show. We come to you live every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. live from Soundview Community Media in Stratford, Connecticut. I'm here today with Mr. Mike Roer. He's been on the show a few times before with some awesome competitions that the Entrepreneurship Foundation offers. He is the president of the Entrepreneurship Foundation, and they have a new competition coming up. So Mike, thank you so much for joining us today. Tell us about this competition and why people should be signing up.
Well, thank you, Terry. It's great to be back. I think we all have an invention in us. We all have a novel, etc. The key is to actually bring that to life, bring it out. We all have those creative instincts. And so we've put together a competition for folks who live in Bridgeport, or have a business in Bridgeport, or attend school in Bridgeport. The funding is coming from the city of Bridgeport, so that's why that particular restriction. But we want to talk about inventing in general and how to bring those products to market, how to fund them, and so forth. But the competition, we're having a kickoff on April 12th at the University of Bridgeport. And you can find details. You don't have to run and get a pen. We'll throw up a slide later so you can have a URL where you can find all the details. But April 12th, University of Bridgeport, 6 p.m. at the School of Engineering. And we'll talk about the rules for this competition, how you come up with a great winning idea, funding those ideas. We'll be providing mentoring as well, access to experts in intellectual property, patenting, trademarks, copyrights, and so forth, experts in marketing that help you with your idea. And we're also, something new this time, we run a lot of competitions, is we're bringing in interns to help with anyone who has an idea, interns in marketing and coding and other skills. At local universities to help folks here to flesh out their idea, do some market research, help to prepare prototypes for testing and so forth. And so those people will be at this event too. We have $30,000 in cash awards that we'll be handing out, plus some in-kind prizes, patent searches, patent filings we'll be doing for free.
Nice.
We're doing some marketing videos for people who have winning ideas. And yes, there is a winning process here. You will need to pitch your idea to a panel of judges, and then we'll select those that we feel are the most promising, the most likely to succeed, and distribute prize money to those folks.
And the $5,000 as well. Can you explain that?
We do have $5,000 earmarked for products related to energy. As you may have heard, the globe, the planet is getting a little warm, and
just a little
so
bit.
we'd like to encourage people to come up with solutions for global warming in the form of energy reduction, making products more energy efficient, extending ways to make energy production more efficient, delivery, et cetera. So anything that you have related to energy, we have $5,000 set aside just for that
Nice.
Category, for the best idea within the energy field.
Nice. That's cool. That's
So you can all do your part, right?
Right. Gives away
Climate change.
Nice incentive as well. So before moving on, just a little bit more on the eligibility. So is there a way that people need to prove that they're eligible?
Good question. Yes, we do. We had somebody last time we had a competition just for Bridgeport. We had somebody from India
Oh, wow.
apply. Yeah, a little too far outside the boundaries. So yes, you will need it at some point to show, driver's licenses or something to indicate that yes, you do live here.
Right.
If you're a business, the city actually has a certification process.
Okay.
And again, if you go to our website for this competition, which is the entrepreneurshipfoundation.org/product. I know that's a mouthful, but again, we'll throw up a slide later and you can write it down.
It's on the bottom of the screen too.
And the bottom of the screen.
Yes.
Oh, okay. You don't have to memorize it. But if you have a business, and you go to the website, you'll find a link there to a certification process by the City of Bridgeport.
Okay.
And we highly recommend this because once you're visible on the radar screen for the city, then they'll alert you to other opportunities for businesses that are based in the Park City. So it's a good idea anyway, and if you want to enter the competition, you'll need to be validated as a Bridgeport-based company. So it's resident of Bridgeport, a business that's located in Bridgeport, you can live anywhere as long as your business is here, or a student. And there are actually 5 institutions of higher education in Bridgeport. There's Houstonic Community College, Pear College, which is the art school, University of Bridgeport, Sacred Heart University, and Fairfield University now has a campus here in Bellarmine Hall.
Nice.
And of course, high school students are eligible to participate as well.
Okay.
So
Wow, okay. So no age range.
no age limit on
Age
either
limit,
end.
yes. Okay, that's awesome. So moving on to the next part of it, can we go into like specific dates, because it's not just the application deadline and the finals. There's a lot more before that.
Good point. This is not a sort of one meeting and then that's it.
Right.
We want to. It's a process you need to go through to come up with a good idea, validate it, prepare a presentation, prepare prototypes for the competition. And so we're spreading this out. Sometimes this is done over a weekend, called a startup weekend, and actually run those, which it's a lot of fun. But we want to give you a little more time this time. So April 12th, Friday, 6 o'clock, you have a chance to go through the rules. You have a chance to meet with some mentors, experts in product design, marketing, intellectual property, etc. Have a chance to pitch your idea if you'd like, and to try to recruit some other people to your team who might be there. We'll be advertising this to the general public, so people might not have an idea, but they might like to work on a team that's taking a product to market. It's a good experience, looks good on the resume. So if you are a good graphic designer or a coder, or you think you want to pursue a career in marketing, come on out and work with some of these inventors to help them define and design their product and create some marketing visuals around it.
Yes. And then what's our next date that we have?
Then there's several dates here. The next one would be April 13th, which is the next day.
Okay.
And we have a couple of intellectual property attorneys, people who are experts in the patenting process. We'll be producing a seminar at 1 p.m. On the April 13th. That's a Saturday. So tune in, and you can ask any questions you want of these experts who are patent attorneys on the process of how do you get a patent, what does it cost, what's the process to go through.
Wow. That's an
By the
amazing
way,
resource.
all of these resources are free, all the meetings, et cetera, and in fact, we'll even feed you. So April 12th, we'll have pizza and beverages there for everyone at 5:30, and then the show starts at 6 o'clock. April 13th is a Zoom event, so we can't feed you for that. Then on May 1, everybody will come back, and you have a chance to meet with your team and meet with the mentors again. We'll ask you all to sort of give us an update of your progress and what you've accomplished since the April 12th kickoff and May 1. Provide you some additional support, whatever you need, and then come back on the April 16th is when the applications are due for the competition, and that's online as well. So when you go to the website, entrepreneurshipfoundation.org/product, you'll find a link to the application. Just fill that out, email it to me, and we'll select a number of finalists based on those written submissions. To then come back, the final event is the actual pitch night, which will be April 23 at Fairfield University. Again,
May
at 6
23rd.
o'clock. May 23. So it's good experience
Yes.
to not only come up with an idea, but the pitching process will help you when you have to go for a loan or you're applying for a job. It's good to be able to put together a formal presentation, which we are looking for. Be a PowerPoint presentation of 3 minutes to pitch to the judges, who will then ask you questions as well. And then immediately the judges will convene and determine the winners, and we'll announce the prizes right then and there. This is not a long, drawn-out process. You'll
Thank
have
goodness.
the check within a week after being notified as one of the winners.
Nice. Okay. So you get fed, you get great networking
Yes, right.
experience,
Right.
free resources, and the chance to win some really cool prizes.
Yep.
So I think it's a win-win as far as what I hear. So moving on from that aspect, let's talk about invention ideation, or like the process.
Sure. I think, as I said, everybody has an idea in them. But one of the key things is to sort of triage those ideas. That is, before you spend a lot of money or a lot of time on it, to do some research to determine the probability, the likelihood of success. So it really starts, the whole process, with identifying a problem. I think a lot of people try to come up with sort of solutions or products. But before you do that, think about the problems. What bugs you? I mentioned one, global warming, okay? That's a real problem,
Right.
whether or not you want to believe it. A bridge in Baltimore fell down today. Okay,
Yeah.
there's a problem. Bridge is falling down.
Yeah.
What can we do about that? Maybe some sensors that we can place on bridges to give us a little warning when it's getting a little shaky. What bothers you? What is aggravating you? What frustrates you?
What are your needs?
What are your needs? Yeah, what are your desires? And start there, and then pick a problem, and then research that as much as you can. Try to figure out as much nuances about the problem. Identify it. Find examples. How many people have this problem? How serious is it? And by the way, the more serious the problem, the more pain people experience. And this is the word we use within the investment industry. If you come to, say, angel investors or a bank with a solution, we want there to be very strong desire or pain that this solution solves. A nice thing to have isn't as important as, for example, you've got a cure for cancer. That's a gotta have. That's not that would be nice.
Right.
So the more intense the pain, the more serious the problem, the more likely you'll find support for it. So starts with the problem, then come up with as many different solutions as you can. So green light them. Just write them down, as many as you can think of. Think about it in the shower. And then start to narrow those ideas down. And you can do some feasibility analyses with that. For example, as I mentioned before, how many people have it? Well, if you've got two ideas or two possible solutions or two problems, and one problem, 1 million people have that problem, and another problem, 10,000 people have the problem, all things being equal, you'll probably have more success with the one that more people are suffering with. How long would it take to perfect it and get it to market? If you can do something in a matter of months, great. Versus, I mentioned drugs. A new drug discovery takes about 10 or 20 years to bring to market because you have to go through a lot of FDA testing and so on.
Right.
So all things being equal, take the shorter path. Look at the amount of money it would take to create prototypes and do market testing. If you want to build a helicopter, that's an expensive process. If you have, you want to work on an app for a dating app or something, that's a little easier, and you can do, a lot of that yourself. So we can help you with this. My contact information will be up on a slide, and we can send you a checklist to sort of evaluate your different ideas and triage them to come up with the ones more likely to succeed.
Right. No, that was really good information, just because I don't know if people really think that far ahead when they do come up with ideas. I know a lot of people who they have bright minds and they're always coming up with ideas, but it's never in a, they're not thinking the long term. They're not thinking like, well, who else has this need? I know I have it, but like, who else can I market this to? Can I market this? Or what's the best way to do it? So definitely use those resources that are being offered, because they're great. That's perfect timing.
There you go.
We have a caller. Let's see. Hi, thank you for calling Connecticut at your service. Did you have a question?
Yes, hi. My name is Donna, and I'm calling to ask Rick, as far as giving advice for starting a company based on an invention. Do you follow through to a certain point and give ideas of where you can go once you've accepted an idea?
Sure. If you're suggesting that as you enter the competition, we sort of anoint you as a worthy idea, yes, that's really just the beginning of the process. So it's a good question. Some of the things you need to do is, for the competition, for example, we want to see a prototype. It could be a rough prototype. Could even be really great sketches. As much as you could do on your own without spending a lot of money, as we'd like to see. But then a product goes through certain phases and levels of development. So you've got an idea, you pitch it, you have a very rough prototype just to show us, the judges, what it looks like and how it would work. So let's say you win $500, take that money and then do a more polished prototype. You might have it, say, 3D printed, which is a reasonably low-cost way of creating a prototype for testing. It's something you could then show to investors, potential customers, again, to sort of validate the idea, make sure you're on the right track. You probably get some feedback. You want to go back and change your designs a bit, probably, call it pivoting, make some more prototypes, do some more market research, show it to some more people. And then you need to really develop a final prototype for manufacturing. So a prototype that you developed where it would be simple enough that you could maybe make a couple dozen to do some market testing and let people try it out is a little different design than when you get to the point where you want to make these by the tens of thousands in an injection molding press or some sort of complicated die stamp process. So spend a little more money each time to develop a more sophisticated prototype, but when you do that, you validate your product further, you refine it further, so your risk is being reduced if people still are enthusiastic about the idea as you develop ever more expensive prototypes. And then you get to the point where you have enough market research, you have enough people saying, yeah, I'd buy that then you could then go to a bank, angel investor, or other people to find some funding to actually take the product to market, mass produce it, do the marketing that would be necessary to launch that product and take it to market. Sure, go ahead.
Would that be something you might also help with as far as suggesting certain investors or contacts?
Yes. Coincidentally, as I said, the finals will be at Fairfield University where you'll be pitching. We'll have investors there. It's kind of sneaky of me. I want to make sure you have your day in court. So I'll have some real live investors there who not only could be handing out the funding that I have, but they might say, hey, the goodness is they hand you their card and say, why don't you give me a call? Let's get together. That's good.
Yeah.
You know?
That's wonderful exposure, yes.
Yes, yes, it is. But it just so happens that we have an angel investor club here in Connecticut, and they meet at Fairfield University once a month. So you're in a good location
Right.
if you're local. And again, there'll be a slide up with my contact information. And email me. I mean, I'm happy to, free advice, help you to connect with investors or whatever resources you need. But come on April 12th, get into the process. Come on April 12th, we'll talk some more.
I will. I have to get busy, yes.
Right,
And
right.
I appreciate your advice. Thank you. It was very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you have any other questions?
No, that's it. Thanks.
All right, thank you for
Bye-bye.
calling. Bye-bye. And stay tuned.
That's a common question, how do I start? And
Yeah.
what's next? And I've got an idea. Well, as you mentioned, it sounds like a simple answer, but yeah, come on April 12th and we'll talk about the process.
Right.
And then get involved and come back on May 1. You can join a team or you can lead a team
Right.
and meet with those mentors. We only have a half an hour here today, but each of these sessions on April 12th and May 1, they're 2 hours each. Plus you'll be meeting mentors,
Right, in real
experts
time.
in the field that you can then call in the interim. So today we can't answer all the questions, but at least we can tell you how you can find locations and resources to answer those questions. So if you got some more calls today, we've still got time for one or two more.
Yes.
But I do want to throw out one more opportunity where you can have your questions answered. There's an organization called IACT,
Okay.
Inventors Association of Connecticut. They meet once a month, and actually they met an hour ago. So we just missed them. But the speaker this evening was Michael Weinstein, who has a As Seen on TV company. And he sees 5,000 ideas a month, typically. And Michael's an expert, and it's just one of those many resources that are out there that you may not know about. I know about them. And if you have a good idea, if I think it's a good idea, Michael's a good friend, I'll connect the two of you. And if he likes it and you want to partner up with him, he knows how to take those products to market.
Nice.
So IACT, go to inventus.org. It's invent, I-N-V-E-N-T, us.org, inventus.org, and you can sign up, you can join the organization, you can see when the next meeting is, you don't necessarily have to join, and come and network and rub elbows with other inventors. And they range from people who just, I'd like to be an inventor, to people who have 30 patents. And so it's a great, fun organization to belong to and to network with and to ask questions.
Right. And if you're just now tuning in, I just want to remind everybody we're here with Mr. Mike Roer, the president of the Entrepreneurship Foundation, and he is discussing this awesome opportunity, a competition that's taking place this spring in 2024. Our last day to send in the applications, if you can remind me, May 16th, there we go. So I just wanted to remind that. And
these are important dates.
yes, our important dates.
Right. If you just tuned in, we're giving
Yes.
away $30,000 to
Yes.
folks who live in or have a business in Bridgeport or go to school in Bridgeport, high school or college students, plus some in-kind prizes, free patent searches, patent filings, marketing videos for people with great ideas. So we hope you get in the game. Won't
Yes.
cost anything. And as we said before, we'll even feed you. So April 12th is the kickoff event at University of Bridgeport at 6 p.m. And there'll be a slide that'll come up again later in the show with a URL where you can go and get all these details and information and dates and places.
Right, and also your contact as well. I wanted to get into just kind of like a PSA sort of thing about. I know you wanted to mention that, so I want to give us time. We have about less than 5 minutes.
So some other things that I'd like to share with you is some other links. How to validate your idea. So you come up with an idea, you've done a prototype, you've made up some samples, So how do you get feedback? Take them to flea markets, take them to a farmer's market, and just put them out there and put a sign with a price and see if you get any nibbles.
It's a good idea.
But not only do you get that sort of binary, they buy it or they don't buy it, but you can ask people, so, what do you think?
Yeah, feedback.
What do you think of my phone here? It's a
Right.
desktop phone. What do you think about fake flowers? It's great to get that feedback because that'll help you refine the product before you make that sort of final, chiseled in stone mold and die.
Right.
I've got a store downtown, the Emporium, where we have products by local people. And you can bring them in, put them on a shelf, and see how they do. We're at 305 Fairfield Avenue. We're open Friday and Saturday afternoon, so come by and we can chat. If you have ideas about products too, provide some advice there as well.
And also about kind of like how to avoid scams with the invention process too.
That's good.
Talk to us about that.
Glad you brought that up because there are unfortunately a lot of scams out there. The simple rule of thumb is don't send anybody any money. Remember, I've said everything that I've talked about tonight is free. The advice, the meetings, the competition, the mentoring, it's all free. We're crazy. I mean, there are some legitimate people out there. A patent attorney will typically charge you to file a patent, and that's true. But there are people out there that will prey on your hopes and desires, and the way they do it is they run ads on late night TV. You've seen them. Send us your idea, and when you do, they will send you back this glowing letter, and they'll say something like, "Oh, our team has reviewed your idea for snowball freezer, and we think this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and we're sure it's going to make you millions of dollars. We'd like to work with you, so please send us $500, and we'll do a patent search for you, and we'll do an analysis of your idea and let you know what the market is." And they've told you what you want to hear. That it's just a wonderful idea. It's going to be the next pet rock or Rubik's Cube, and so you send them to $500. Now then you get this glowing printed report from them that says your product, the frozen snowballs, are going to be worth $1 billion, and this is going to be a very thick report. But they send the same report to everybody. All they change is the name of the product and your name.
Right.
And now you're really excited because you've got this thick analysis, 50 pages. And they'll ask you for $5,000 to now go to the next step. And now they've got you hooked. Don't do that. Don't send anybody any money. All right? Yeah. You get to meet somebody, you're working with them, they're going to do things like file patents for you. Well, yes, there's expenses there. But don't send them money in advance.
All right, so I think that's great advice. Unfortunately, we're out of time. You have such a wealth of knowledge, so definitely utilize these resources. He has made himself available. He has shared everything he possibly could in this chunk about what you guys should do. So check out the website on the screen. We're going to put up his ending slide. And thank you guys for watching. This was Mike Roer. He is a part of the Emporium and the Entrepreneurship Foundation.
See you on April 12th.
Yes.
With your ideas.